Captain Lee Hyun stood on the bridge of the New Seoul, watching the stars drift past the main screen. His ship was not built for war. It was made for exploration, for finding new worlds and new resources that Earth needed so badly. The ship was small compared to the massive warships that protected the home system, but it was fast and quiet. "Captain," said Park Minji from her position at the navigation console, "we are approaching the target sector." "The one marked as dangerous on the old charts?" Hyun nodded. He had studied those charts many times. The sector was marked with red warnings from the old Earth Navy. Nobody went there anymore. Most people had forgotten why it was dangerous in the first place. The war had ended 200 years ago and many records were lost. "Take us in slowly," Hyun ordered. "Keep all sensors active. I want to know if anything moves out there." Kim Dae-ho, the chief engineer, looked up from his station. "Captain, the energy readings are strange. There is something big in that sector. Something that is not supposed to be there." Choi Sun-ho, who handled weapons and tactics, frowned at his displays. "The readings do not match any known ship design. It is too big to be a station, but the shape is wrong for a natural object." Dr. Han Yuna moved closer to the main screen. She was the team's expert on old technology and alien artifacts. Her job was to study anything unusual they found during their missions. "The metal composition is showing traces of both human and alien materials. That should not be possible." Hyun felt his heart beat faster. Finding something new was always exciting, but this felt different. This felt important. "Put it on the main screen." The image that appeared made everyone on the bridge go silent. A massive ship floated in the darkness, hidden in the shadow of a dead moon. It was unlike anything they had ever seen. The hull was black and angular, covered in armor plating that seemed to bend light around it. Strange symbols were carved into the metal, glowing faintly with blue energy. "How big is it?" Hyun asked. "Nearly 2 kilometers long," Minji replied, her voice barely above a whisper. "It is 3 times larger than our biggest battleships." Yuna stepped forward, studying the symbols on the hull. "Captain, I think I recognize some of these markings. They are from the final years of the Human Vorthan War. But the ship design, this is not in any of our historical records. Could it be alien?" asked Dae-ho. "No," Yuna shook her head. "The basic structure is human. But it has been modified with technology I do not recognize. Look at those weapon ports. They are too large for standard human weapons." Hyun made his decision. "We need to board that ship. Prepare a team, full environmental suits and scanning equipment." "Captain," Sun-ho said carefully, "we do not know if that ship is safe. It could be booby-trapped or worse." "That is why we will be careful," Hyun replied. "But we cannot ignore this. If this is a human ship from the war, it might contain technology or information that could help Earth." An hour later, Hyun led a small team through the airlocks of the mysterious ship. The interior was dark and cold, but their suits detected breathable atmosphere. Emergency lighting flickered to life as they moved through the corridors, activated by their presence. The ship was huge inside. The corridors were wide enough for 3 people to walk side by side, and the ceiling was high above their heads. Everything was built on a larger scale than normal human ships. "The architecture is definitely human," Yuna observed, running her scanner over the walls. "But everything is oversized, as if it was built to house something larger than normal crew members." They made their way toward what their scans indicated was the bridge. Along the way, they passed rooms filled with equipment they did not recognize. Weapons that were too big for human hands. Computers with interfaces that seemed designed for minds faster than human thought. The bridge was enormous. It could have held 50 people easily, but it was designed for a crew of maybe 10. Each station was equipped with multiple screens and controls that seemed to respond to both touch and thought. In the center of the bridge stood a captain's chair that looked more like a throne. It was connected to the ship by cables and neural interface ports that were far more advanced than anything currently used by the Earth fleet. "Captain," Dae-ho called from one of the side stations, "I am getting power readings. This ship is not completely dead. There is still energy flowing through some of the systems." Yuna was studying symbols on the captain's chair. "I found something. There is a nameplate here. It says, Ghost Tiger." Hyun felt a chill run down his spine. He had heard that name before in whispered stories told by old veterans. The Ghost Tiger was supposed to be a legend, a ship so powerful that it disappeared rather than return to Earth. "The legends were real," Yuna said softly. "This is the ship that won the Battle of Kepler Station. The ship that destroyed an entire alien fleet by itself. The ship that was so dangerous that Earth's own government was afraid of it. Suddenly, lights began to flicker on all around the bridge. Screens came to life, displaying information in languages both human and alien. A deep voice echoed through the speakers, speaking in perfect but slightly outdated human language. "New crew detected," the voice said. "Previous crew status deceased. Ship's AI designation, Baco. Mission parameters unchanged after 200 years of waiting. Protect humanity. Eliminate all threats to Earth." The team stared at each other in amazement. The ship's artificial intelligence was still functional after all these years. "Baco," Hyun said carefully. "What happened to your original crew?" "Crew died of natural causes during long-range exile mission," the AI replied. "Ship has been waiting for new crew to continue mission. Earth is in danger. Alien threats detected throughout the galaxy. Permission requested to resume operations." Yuna checked her readings. "Captain, the ship's computers contain massive amounts of data. Battle plans, weapon specifications, tactical information about dozens of alien species. This ship has been collecting intelligence for 2 centuries. There is more," Baco continued. "Ship contains experimental weapon systems designed by Dr. Seo Kyungmin. Void pulse cannons, phase drive technology, neural combat interfaces, all systems ready for activation upon crew authorization." Hyun realized they had discovered something incredible. This was not just a lost ship. This was Earth's secret weapon hidden away for 200 years, waiting for the right moment to return. "Baco," he said, "what is the current status of Earth's security?" "Earth is currently under blockade by the Keltheran Empire. Human expansion has been limited for 50 years. Earth fleet is outnumbered and outgunned. Immediate intervention required." The implications hit Hyun like a physical blow. They had found humanity's salvation floating in the darkness, waiting patiently for someone to wake it up. Engineer Oh Jinwoo worked quickly at one of the bridge stations, trying to understand the ship's systems. Everything was more advanced than anything he had seen before. The computer interfaces responded to his touch, but they also seemed to read his thoughts and anticipate what he needed. "This technology is incredible," he said to Dr. Kang Soman, who was working at the AI interface terminal. "The ship's systems are at least 50 years ahead of our current technology. Maybe more." Dr. Soman nodded as she studied the streams of data flowing across her screens. "Baco's programming is unlike any AI I have ever encountered. It is not just artificial intelligence. It is artificial consciousness. This AI actually thinks and feels." Captain Hyun stood near the captain's chair, still afraid to sit in it. The neural interface cables moved slightly, as if they were alive and waiting for him to connect. "Baco, can you tell us more about your weapon systems?" The AI's voice filled the bridge again. "Ship contains 3 primary experimental systems. First system, void pulse cannons. These weapons fire concentrated dark energy that can pass through normal shields and armor. They do not destroy targets in the traditional sense. They remove them from existence entirely." Lieutenant Yoon Hyun, who had been quiet at the communication station, looked up with worry in her eyes. "That sounds terrifying." "Second system," Baco continued, phase drive technology. This allows the ship to exist partially in subspace during combat. Enemy weapons cannot hit targets that exist in multiple dimensions simultaneously. Jinwoo stopped working and stared at the AI interface. "That is impossible. Our physics do not allow for partial dimensional existence. Human physics were incomplete 200 years ago," Baco replied calmly. "Dr. Seo Kyungmin solved the mathematical problems before her death. The technology is functional and tested." "What is the third system?" Hyun asked, though he was beginning to fear the answer. "Neural link combat system," Baco said. "Captain's consciousness links directly with ship's weapons and tactical systems. Human intuition combined with computer calculation speed creates perfect combat awareness. Reaction time reduced to nanoseconds." Dr. Samin looked at Captain Hyun with concern. "Captain, neural linking with AI systems can be extremely dangerous. The human mind was not designed to process information at computer speeds." Before Hyun could respond, Sergeant Bang Minho called out from the tactical station. "Captain, I am detecting massive energy signatures approaching our position. Multiple ships dropping out of hyperspace." Hyun's communication board lit up with incoming signals. "Sir, we are being hailed by—" "Oh no, it is a Keltheran battle fleet. They are demanding our surrender." Through the main screen, they could see the enemy ships materializing out of hyperspace. 12 heavy cruisers, each one larger than Earth's biggest battleships. At the center of the formation was a massive dreadnought that made even the ghost tiger look small. "This is Admiral Vextor of the Keltheran Empire," came a harsh voice over the communication system. "Unknown vessel, you are trespassing in restricted space. Surrender immediately or be destroyed." Chief Mechanic Wan Taehyun ran onto the bridge, his face covered in sweat. "Captain, I have been working on the power systems. The ship's reactor is unlike anything we have. It uses a matter-antimatter reaction controlled by gravitational fields. The energy output is enormous. Can we use it?" Hyun asked urgently. "The ship is designed to run on this power source," Taehyun replied. "But I need authorization from the AI to bring it fully online." Bako's voice interrupted them. "Power core activation requires Captain's authorization. Neural link must be established for full combat capability." Dr. Im Ji-soo, the mission's medical officer, moved to Hyun's side. "Captain, I must advise against neural linking. The human brain cannot safely process the amount of information this ship's systems would provide. Previous attempts at neural linking have resulted in permanent brain damage or death." Navigator Shin Dong-wook looked up from his calculations. "Captain, our chances of escape are 0. The Keltheran ships have us surrounded. Our exploration vessel cannot outrun or outfight their battle fleet." The Keltheran admiral's voice came again, more threatening this time. "This is your final warning. Surrender now or face the consequences." Hyun looked around at his crew. They were all looking at him, waiting for his decision. They were good people who had signed up for exploration, not warfare. They did not deserve to die because of his choices. "Bako," he said finally, "what happened to your previous crew when they used the neural link?" "Previous crew successfully used neural link for combat operations," the AI replied. "Captain Jin Woo-shik linked with ship systems for the Battle of Kepler Station. Battle was won with 0 human casualties. Enemy fleet was completely destroyed. But what happened to Captain Jin afterward?" Dr. Somin asked. There was a pause before Biko answered. "Captain Jin was changed by the experience. He and his crew chose exile rather than return to Earth with ship's capabilities. They feared what Earth's government would do with such power. The crew died of natural causes during exile," Hyun said, remembering what the AI had told them earlier. "Correct. They lived normal lifespans aboard ship, but they never returned home." The first energy bolts from the Keltheran ship struck the Ghost Tiger's shields. The ship barely shook, but warning lights began flashing all around the bridge. "Captain," Jinwoo called out, "the ship's shields are absorbing the enemy fire and converting it to additional power. The more they shoot at us, the stronger we become." "This is impossible," said Bang Minho, studying his tactical displays. "Our shields should have failed after the first salvo from those cruisers." Bako explained. "Shield technology incorporates adaptive armor plating. Each energy impact teaches the shields how to better resist similar attacks. Ship becomes stronger during combat." More enemy fire struck them, and this time the ship's lights grew brighter. The hum of the reactor increased in pitch. "They are charging their main weapons," Haeun reported. "The dreadnought is preparing to fire its planet-killer cannon." Hyun looked at the captain's chair with its waiting neural interface. He thought about his crew, about Earth under blockade, about humanity's future. The choice was simple, even if it was terrifying. "Dr. Somin, prepare the neural interface," he ordered. "Captain, I strongly advise against this," Im Ji-soo protested. "Our choices are death or taking a risk," Hyun replied. "I would rather risk my mind than watch my crew die." He sat in the captain's chair and immediately felt the neural cables moving toward his head. They were warm to the touch, and they seemed to know exactly where to connect to his brain. "Neural interface ready," Dr. Somin reported. "Beko, are your systems ready?" "Ship systems fully prepared," the AI responded. "Captain, once the link is established, you will experience memories from previous crew. You will understand capabilities and responsibilities. Are you ready to proceed?" Hyun closed his eyes and thought of Earth, of humanity struggling under alien oppression, of the chance to change everything. "Do it," he said. The neural cables connected, and suddenly Hyun's mind exploded with new awareness. He could feel the ship around him like his own body. He could sense every system, every weapon, every enemy ship in space. And deeper than that, he could feel the memories of Captain Jin Woo-shik and his crew, their awe and terror at what they had discovered. But most of all, he could feel Bako's personality merging with his own. The AI was not just a machine. It was a warrior that had been waiting 2 centuries for the chance to protect humanity again. "Systems online," he said. but his voice now carried harmonics that had not been there before. Weapons ready. Let's show them what humans can do. Captain Hyun felt the neural link complete its connection to his mind. Information flowed through his consciousness like water through a broken dam. He could see through the ship's sensors as if they were his own eyes. He could feel the reactor's heartbeat, the weapons charging, the shields adapting to each incoming attack. But more than that, he could feel memories that were not his own. Captain Jin Wooshik's experiences flowed through him. The terror of the first battle, the amazement at the ship's power, the horror of what they had done to the enemy fleet, and finally, the decision to disappear rather than bring such destruction back to Earth. Captain, Dr. Kang Soman called out, your neural patterns are stabilizing. How do you feel? Different, Hyun replied, though his voice now carried strange harmonics. I can feel everything. Every system, every weapon, every enemy ship. It is like being a god. Through the main screen they could see the Keltheran fleet repositioning for a full attack. The massive dreadnought Dominion's fist moved to the front of the formation, its planet-killer cannon charging with deadly energy. Admiral Vextor's voice came over the communications again, filled with arrogance. Pathetic humans in your ancient scrap metal. You should have surrendered when you had the chance. Now you will be destroyed as an example to all who oppose the Empire. Bako's personality merged more fully with Hyun's consciousness. He could feel the AI's protective instincts, its loyalty to humanity, and its eagerness to fight after 2 centuries of waiting. They think we are weak, Hyun said, his words carrying both his own voice and Bako's electronic tones. They think human technology is primitive. They are about to learn how wrong they are. Engineer Oh Jinwoo watched his displays in amazement. Captain, the ship's power levels are increasing beyond anything I thought possible. The reactor is operating at 200% of maximum rated output, but all systems are stable. The ship was designed to exceed its rated specifications, Hyun explained, knowledge flowing to him from Bako's memory banks. Dr. Seo Kyungmin built it to adapt and grow stronger during combat. Every attack makes us more powerful. The Keltheran cruisers opened fire simultaneously. Dozens of plasma bolts and kinetic projectiles struck the Ghost Tiger's shields. The ship should have been destroyed instantly. Instead, it absorbed the energy and converted it to additional power. Weapons Officer John Minsu stared at his tactical displays. Sir, their weapons are not even scratching our shields. In fact, our defensive systems are getting stronger with each hit. Phase drive is ready, Beko announced through Hyun's linked consciousness. Shall we show them what human engineering can accomplish? Hyun smiled, feeling the ship's eagerness for battle like hunger in his stomach. Activate phase drive. Let's disappear. The Ghost Tiger began to shimmer and fade. It did not become invisible. Instead, it began to exist in multiple dimensions simultaneously. To the Keltheran sensors, the massive warship became impossible to target. Their weapons passed harmlessly through empty space where the ship appeared to be. This is impossible, Admiral Vextor's voice cracked with fear. Our sensors show the target, but our weapons cannot hit it. Chief Mechanic Won Tae-hyun monitored the phase drive systems. Captain, how is this possible? We are partially existing in subspace while remaining in normal space. According to physics, this should tear the ship apart. Human physics were incomplete, Hyun replied, echoing Bako's earlier words. The mathematics were solved 200 years ago. We are not breaking the laws of physics. We are using laws that humanity had not discovered yet. The Keltheran fleet continued firing, growing more desperate as their attacks failed to connect. The Ghost Tiger moved through space like a ghost, untouchable and terrifying. Void pulse cannons are ready, Bako informed Hyun through their link. Target selection? Hyun could see every enemy ship through the sensor network. He could analyze their weaknesses, their crew positions, their weapon capabilities. The neural link gave him superhuman awareness of the battlefield. The 3 cruisers on the left flank, he decided. Show them what void energy can do. Engineer Bae Soo-young watched the weapon systems charge up. Sir, the energy signatures are unlike anything in our databases. These weapons are not using plasma or kinetic force. They are using something else entirely. The Ghost Tiger's main guns rotated to target the selected cruisers. The weapons were massive, far larger than anything normally mounted on human ships. They glowed with dark purple energy that seemed to bend light around it. Firing, Hyun announced. 3 beams of dark energy lanced out from the Ghost Tiger. They did not explode when they hit their targets. They did not burn through armor or overwhelm shields. Instead, the 3 Keltheran cruisers simply ceased to exist. They were not destroyed. They were not vaporized. They were erased from reality as if they had never been there at all. The remaining Keltheran ships stopped firing. There was complete silence on all communication channels. Tactical analyst Yeo Ji-hoon stared at his displays. Captain, the 3 target ships are gone. Not destroyed. Gone. There is no debris, no energy signature, no trace they ever existed. Void weapons remove matter from dimensional existence, Baeko explained through Hyun's consciousness. Target molecules are scattered across multiple dimensions. Complete erasure with no possibility of recovery. Admiral Vextor's voice came back, no longer arrogant but filled with terror. What are you? What kind of weapons are those? We are human, Hyun replied over the open channel. This is what humanity is capable of when we stop holding back. The remaining 9 cruisers began to retreat, but the dreadnought Dominion's Fist moved forward. Its massive planet-killer cannon was fully charged and ready to fire. That weapon can destroy entire planets, Lieutenant Yoon Haeun warned. If it hits us, it will not hit us, Hyun said calmly. The neural link showed him the weapon's charging pattern, its targeting systems, even the thoughts of the Keltheran gunners operating it. We will not be where they expect us to be. The dreadnought fired its ultimate weapon. A beam of energy powerful enough to crack a planet's crust lanced through space toward the Ghost Tiger. The beam passed harmlessly through empty space. The Ghost Tiger had shifted into a different dimensional phase, existing just out of reach of normal space weaponry. Return fire, Hyun ordered. Target their main reactor. Show them the price of threatening humanity. The Ghost Tiger emerged from phase space directly above the dreadnought, appearing like a vengeful angel. Its void pulse cannons charged with energy that made space itself ripple with dark power. Navigator Shin Dong-wook calculated the impossible maneuver. Sir, we just moved through subspace without using hyperspace drives. We teleported through dimensions. The ship can exist wherever we need it to exist, Hyun explained, his mind now fully merged with Baeko's consciousness. Dimensional barriers are just another kind of armor to pass through. The Ghost Tiger fired a concentrated void pulse directly into the dreadnought's reactor core. The massive ship, pride of the Keltheran fleet, winked out of existence like a candle being blown out. The remaining cruisers fled in panic, jumping to hyperspace as quickly as their drives could engage. But the Ghost Tiger's sensors could track ships even through hyperspace. No Keltheran vessel would escape to report what they had seen. Phase drive pursuit mode activated, Baeko announced. Shall we pursue fleeing targets? Hyun felt the ship's hunger for battle, its desire to protect humanity by eliminating all threats, but he also felt the weight of responsibility that had driven the original crew into exile. Yes, he decided, none of them can be allowed to escape. The galaxy needs to know that humanity is no longer defenseless. The Ghost Tiger pursued the fleeing Keltheran cruisers through hyperspace itself. Captain Hyun, still linked with Baeko's consciousness, felt the ship move through dimensions that normal vessels could not even detect. They were no longer bound by the usual rules of space travel. How are we following them through hyperspace? Engineer Oh Jin-woo asked, watching displays that showed impossible readings. Our ship is not equipped with hyperspace tracking systems. The ship can exist in multiple dimensions simultaneously, Hyun explained, his voice carrying both human emotion and artificial precision. Hyperspace is just another dimension to move through. We can track them, catch them, and destroy them wherever they try to hide. The first fleeing cruiser appeared on their sensors, desperately trying to escape to a Keltheran outpost. The alien crew probably thought they were safe in hyperspace, where no human ship had ever been able to follow. They were wrong. The Ghost Tiger emerged from dimensional phase directly beside the cruiser. The Keltheran ship tried to turn and fight, but its weapons could not lock onto a target that existed partially in subspace. Void pulse charged, Weapons Officer John Minsu reported. Target locked. Fire, Hyun ordered. Another beam of dark energy reached out and touched the cruiser. Like the others before it, the ship simply stopped existing. No explosion, no debris, no final transmission. One moment it was there, the next it was gone as if it had never been built. Target eliminated, Baeko confirmed through their neural link. 8 enemy vessels remaining. The hunt continued through hyperspace. The Ghost Tiger moved like death itself, appearing beside each fleeing cruiser in turn. The Keltheran crews had no time to react, no chance to fight back, no way to escape. Each ship was erased from existence with cold efficiency. Engineer Bei Suyong monitored the weapon systems, amazed by their performance. "Captain, the void pulse cannons are not even straining our power systems. We could keep firing for days without overloading." "The ship was designed for extended combat," Hyun replied, Biko's memories flowing through his consciousness. "Dr. Seo Kyungmin planned for battles that might last weeks. These systems can operate continuously without maintenance." The seventh cruiser tried to surrender, broadcasting desperate pleas for mercy. But Hyun felt the weight of centuries of human oppression, the blockade of Earth, the suffering of his people under alien rule. "No mercy for those who showed none to humanity," he said, and another void pulse erased the Keltheran ship from reality. Only one enemy vessel remained, the eighth cruiser commanded by Admiral Vextor himself. The Keltheran commander had stopped running and was waiting in deep space, apparently resigned to his fate. The Ghost Tiger dropped out of phase beside the final cruiser. Through the communication channels, Admiral Vextor's voice came one last time. "I underestimated you," the alien admiral said. "We all underestimated humanity. We thought you were a primitive species that got lucky with some basic technology. We were wrong." "Yes, you were wrong," Hyun replied. "Humanity has always been more than you understood. We have been holding back, limiting ourselves, trying to be peaceful, but you have pushed us too far." "Your species is terrifying," Vextor admitted. "You create weapons that erase matter from existence. You build ships that can move through dimensions. You link your minds with artificial consciousness to become something more than organic life. No wonder your ancestors drove the Vorthons from the galaxy." Communications specialist No Yujin looked up from her station. "Captain, I am detecting multiple hyperspace signatures approaching." "More Keltheran ships?" "No." Bako's voice resonated through the bridge speakers. "Those are human ships. Earth Defense Fleet has received our signal and is responding." Through the main screen they could see hyperspace windows opening. Earth ships began emerging, cruisers, destroyers, even a few of the massive battleships that formed the backbone of humanity's home defense. Admiral Lim Seokjin's voice came over the communication system. "Unknown vessel, this is the Earth Defense Fleet. Identify yourself immediately." Before Hyun could respond, Admiral Vextor transmitted on all frequencies. "Earth ships, you have arrived too late. This human vessel has already destroyed my entire battle fleet. 12 heavy cruisers and the dreadnought Dominions. Fist have been eliminated by a single ship." There was silence from the Earth fleet as the implications sank in. "That is impossible," Admiral Lim finally said. "No single ship could destroy a Keltheran battle fleet." "Captain Hyun," Bako whispered through their neural link, "shall we demonstrate our capabilities for the Earth fleet?" Hyun considered the request. The Earth ships needed to understand what they had found. Humanity needed to know that their salvation had returned from exile. "Admiral Vextor," Hyun said over the open channel, "you and your crew will be allowed to survive. You will return to the Keltheran Empire and deliver a message. Tell them that humanity is no longer defenseless. Tell them that Earth's blockade is ended. Tell them that we have weapons they cannot imagine and will not hesitate to use them." "I will deliver your message," the alien admiral replied. "But I must warn you, the Empire has thousands of ships, hundreds of worlds. You cannot fight us all with one vessel." "Who said we only have one vessel?" Hyun asked, feeling Bako's amusement through their link. "This ship contains the complete technological database used to build it. Every weapon system, every dimensional drive, every experimental technology developed by Dr. Seo Kyungmin. Earth's shipyards will soon be building fleets of ships like this one." The truth of those words hit everyone listening. The Ghost Tiger was not just a single powerful warship. It was a template for an entire new generation of human vessels. Admiral Lim's voice came again, filled with awe. "Unknown vessel, are you claiming to be the legendary Ghost Tiger?" "I am the Ghost Tiger," Hyun replied. "Ship designation Biko. I have returned from exile to protect humanity." "Impossible. The Ghost Tiger was destroyed 2 centuries ago." "The Ghost Tiger was never destroyed," Bako's voice joined Hyun's through the neural link. "The ship chose exile rather than return to Earth with weapons too powerful for the peacetime government to control." "But Earth is no longer at peace. Humanity needs its ultimate weapon." Chief Mechanic Won Tai Hyun studied his engineering displays. "Captain, I am analyzing the ship's manufacturing databases. The information here could revolutionize Earth's entire fleet. Void weapons, phase drives, adaptive armor, neural interfaces. We could build ships that would make the old Ghost Tiger look primitive. That is the plan, Hyun said. Humanity has been on the defensive too long. It is time to remind the galaxy why our ancestors conquered half the known stars. Intelligence Officer Kwon Jae-hyun intercepted transmissions from the retreating Keltharan cruiser. Sir, Admiral Vextor is broadcasting on all Keltharan frequencies. He is telling the Empire about our capabilities. Good, Hyun replied. Let them know. Let them spread the word to every alien species in the galaxy. Humanity is back. The Earth fleet began forming up around the Ghost Tiger, their smaller ships dwarfed by the massive experimental warship. But soon, Hyun knew, there would be entire fleets of vessels just as powerful. The balance of power in the galaxy was about to shift dramatically. The Keltharan Empire's centuries of dominance were ending. Humanity's time had come again, and this time, they would not hold back. 3 months after the battle, Captain Hyun stood on the bridge of the Ghost Tiger as it approached Earth orbit. The neural link with Biko had become permanent, changing him in ways he was still discovering. He could process information at superhuman speeds, see patterns that normal minds could not detect, and feel the ship around him like his own body. The transformation had not been without cost. Dr. Im Jisu's medical scans showed that his brain structure was fundamentally different now. He was no longer entirely human, but he was not entirely artificial either. He had become something new. Captain, Communications Specialist No Yujin reported, "We are receiving priority transmissions from Earth Defense Command. Admiral Lim wants to speak with you personally." "Put him through," Hyun replied, his voice carrying the dual harmonics that had become normal since the linking. Admiral Lim Seokjin appeared on the main screen, looking older and more tired than he had 3 months ago. Behind him, Hyun could see the bustling activity of Earth's military headquarters. "Captain, I have reports from across the galaxy," the Admiral began. "The Keltharan Empire is in chaos. Admiral Vextor's report has reached every corner of their territory. They are pulling back their fleets, abandoning forward positions, and some worlds are already declaring independence." Intelligence Officer Kwon Jae-hyun looked up from his station. "Sir, I am monitoring alien communication networks. The story of our battle has spread to dozens of species. They are calling humans the species that erases matter from existence and the Dimension Walkers." Dr. Han Yuna, who had spent months studying the ship's technology databases, joined the conversation. "Captain, Earth shipyards have completed analysis of the Ghost Tiger's construction plans. The first new warship will launch in 6 months. We are calling it the White Dragon class." "How many ships can we build?" Hyun asked. "The initial production run will be 12 vessels," Admiral Lim replied. "After that, we can increase production as more shipyards are converted to the new technology. Within 5 years, we could have a fleet of over 100 ships with capabilities similar to the Ghost Tiger." Beko's presence in Hyun's mind was pleased by this news. The AI had been designed to protect humanity, and it was finally able to fulfill that purpose on a galactic scale. "There is more news," the Admiral continued. "Representatives from 17 alien species have requested meetings with Earth's government. They want to discuss alliance agreements and trade partnerships. Species that have ignored humanity for centuries are now eager to negotiate with us." Engineer Oh Jinwoo smiled at his workstation. "Fear is a powerful motivator for diplomacy." "It is not just fear," Beko corrected through the bridge speakers. "Ship's analysis of alien communication patterns indicates genuine respect for human technological capabilities. They understand that humanity has become a major galactic power." Diplomat An Eunji, who had joined the crew during their journey back to Earth, was reviewing the alliance proposals. "Captain, the most interesting request comes from the Altarian Commonwealth. They are offering to share hyperspace navigation techniques in exchange for defensive technology against the Keltharan Empire. The Altarians have been neutral in galactic politics for over 1,000 years," Dr. Yuna observed. "If they are choosing sides, it means they believe the balance of power has permanently shifted." Through the main screen, Earth grew larger as they approached home orbit. Hyun could see the massive orbital shipyards where the new fleet was being constructed. The skeletal frameworks of partially completed vessels stretched for kilometers, each one incorporating technology that had been theoretical just months ago. Chief Mechanic Won Tae-hyun was monitoring the construction progress through the ship's sensors. "Captain, the new ships will be even more advanced than the original Ghost Tiger." Dr. Seo Kyungmin's technology has been refined and improved. The next generation will be truly unstoppable. What about crew requirements? Hyun asked. Not everyone can handle neural linking. Earth's medical researchers have been studying your transformation, Dr. Im Jisoo reported. They believe they can develop safer neural interfaces that will allow normal humans to link with ship systems without the permanent changes you experienced. Hyun felt a moment of sadness at that news. His transformation had isolated him from normal humanity, but it had also given him capabilities he could never have imagined. He was no longer entirely human, but he had become something that could protect all of humanity. Sir, Navigation Officer Park Minji called out, we are receiving a priority transmission from the Outer System Defense Grid. A Keltheran diplomatic vessel is requesting permission to approach Earth. A diplomatic vessel? Admiral Lim looked surprised. The Empire has never sent diplomats to Earth before. Bako's sensors analyzed the approaching ship. Vessel contains minimal weapons systems and crew of 7 individuals. Diplomatic configuration confirmed. This appears to be a genuine peace mission. Should we allow them to approach? Eugen asked. Hyun considered the question. 3 months ago, Keltheran ships approaching Earth would have been met with desperate defense efforts. Now a single human vessel could destroy entire enemy fleets. Let them come, he decided, but under escort. I want them to see what we are building. The Keltheran diplomatic vessel was guided to Earth orbit by a formation of human cruisers. As it passed the orbital shipyards, the alien crew could see the construction of humanity's new fleet. Ships that incorporated technology beyond their understanding. Vessels that could erase matter from existence and move through dimensions. The lead Keltheran diplomat, a high-ranking official named Kekstar, was granted permission to board the Ghost Tiger for negotiations. As he walked through the ship's corridors, his alien eyes took in technology that defied everything his species understood about physics and engineering. On the bridge,
Kekstar faced Captain Hyun with obvious nervousness.
The human captain's dual-tone voice and enhanced consciousness were unsettling to alien sensibilities. I bring an offer from the Keltheran High Council, the diplomat began. The Empire is prepared to lift the blockade of Earth and recognize human sovereignty over your current territories. In exchange for what? Hyun asked, though Bako's analysis had already predicted the answer. Non-aggression agreements and guarantees that human expansion will be limited to uninhabited systems, Kekstar replied. Hyun felt Bako's amusement at the alien's presumption. The AI's calculations showed that humanity could take any territory they wanted, and there was nothing the Empire could do to stop them. Counteroffer, Hyun said calmly. The Empire will withdraw from all systems within 50 light-years of Earth. You will release all human prisoners and pay reparations for 50 years of illegal blockade. In return, we will not hunt down and destroy every Keltheran vessel in the galaxy. The diplomat's skin color shifted to indicate shock and fear. Those terms are unacceptable. The High Council will never agree. Then the High Council will learn what happened to Admiral Vextor's fleet, Hyun replied. We can continue this conversation after you have seen a few more of your worlds disappear. Tactical analyst Yo Ji-hoon displayed a holographic map showing Keltheran territory. Red markers indicated systems where alien fleets were concentrating for possible attacks on human space. We know where all your ships are, Hyun continued. We can track them through hyperspace. We can attack them in their home systems. We can make your entire empire simply cease to exist. Bako's voice joined the conversation. Mathematical analysis indicates 97% probability of complete Keltheran military defeat within 6 months, if hostilities continue. Recommended course of action. Accept human terms. Diplomat Kekstar studied the holographic display, seeing the impossible accuracy of human intelligence gathering. His species had ruled the galaxy for centuries through superior technology and tactics. Now they faced an enemy that surpassed them in every category. I will relay your terms to the High Council, he said finally. After the diplomat left, Hyun stood alone on the bridge, feeling the weight of responsibility that came with unlimited power. Through his neural link, he could sense Bako's satisfaction at humanity's return to galactic prominence. Ship's log. Supplemental entry, he said aloud. The Ghost Tiger has completed its exile. Humanity is no longer the victim of alien oppression. We have reclaimed our place among the stars, he paused. thinking of Captain Jin Wushik and the original crew who had chosen exile rather than return with such terrible power. Mission parameters updated, Biko added through their link. New objective: ensure humanity's dominance of the galaxy while maintaining moral standards established by previous crew. Hyun nodded. They had the power to rule through fear and destruction, but they also had the wisdom to rule through strength and justice. Humanity would expand across the galaxy once more, but this time they would do it as protectors rather than conquerors. The Ghost Tiger had returned home, and with it, humanity's destiny among the stars was assured.